chair, just pull. And Khan Saab, wow, lovely. MJ Khan Saab to please come on the stage. Over the baton to Ram Kaundinya sir to take this forward.
Talk on different aspects of that. So let me start off with you, Dr. Khan. Okay. As it was mentioned in the inaugural session also, that government has many policies for agriculture and particularly for improving or scaling up agriculture exports. And there is no better person than Dr. Khan to talk about government policies which are actually aimed at promoting agricultural exports. So even for the information of all the people sitting here, it will be nice if you can talk about what are those critical policies which will actually help the entrepreneurs to increase exports.
Thank you, Kaundinya Sahab. Good morning to all. A small gathering, but comprised of eminent persons. I can see Mr. Goyal here, Dr. Reddy, Sandeepa, Khorakiwala Sahab, Mr. Kondo, and many more, and of course, colleagues on the panel. This is a very important topic, and let me congratulate Raj Agrawal Sahab for nicely putting together the program and agenda. I think three things we need to understand and discuss when we are talking about the exports. One, whether exports are needed for Indian agriculture, and two, whether Indian agriculture is strong enough or there are opportunities for Indian agriculture to increase the exports, and third, if both are positive yes answer, then what needs to be done. Now we all know that Indian agriculture is the second largest in terms of value in the world, about $550 billion out of about $6 trillion of the global agriculture economy, which makes about 8.5% of the world's agriculture by value. But in exports, we are about 2%. In fact, this year we have come down from $53 billion to some $46 billion. So there is a little drop on account of the government policies because the restrictions have been applied, partly because of the global crisis situations, but largely because of the restrictions applied. So we need to catch up 8.5% of the world share in terms of value of agriculture produce and about 2.1% in terms of participation in the global trade. A long way to go. Exports are definitely needed. Like in management, we study that competition improves everything. So the same formula applies. Exports, that improves everything. You need to improve the value chain, you need to improve the supply chain, you need to improve the quality and also the cost competitiveness. So opportunity is big because global trade is around $1.8, $1.9 trillion and India's participation is very low compared to what its capacity is. So our ability to enhance exports, that is massively there. What needs to be done? Long-term consistent policies and a focused approach and little increase in the investment to the EPIDA and related bodies. Unfortunately, that is very low. Last meeting with the finance minister, I particularly had very emphatically requested her that you need to increase the budget for the EPIDA from 80 crores to about 500 crores a year. Now coming to what India's agriculture export opportunities are. Largely we are exporting the rice, which is basmati, non-basmati. Of course, there is some restriction on non-basmati, but put together about $16 billion. Then second largest comes the fisheries and aquaculture, which is about $7-8 billion. And then comes meat, which is about $4.5 billion. And then spices are also close to that. But if we do a study of all these agro-produce, we can definitely come up with a plan, and fortunately, towards the end of 2018, there was first India's agri-export policy launched. Personally, I and organization also quite extensively worked closely with the Commerce Ministry to come out with that, but actions needed on the part of the state government, that is missing. So there is a big gap existing between what global opportunities, what central government would like to do, where industry is operating, and how states, which are guardian of agriculture, they need to prepare and orient themselves to play that role to enhance the presence at the global marketplace. So this is one very important area, Kaundinya Sahab, that states need to be oriented, they need to be prepared, they need to be sensitized, and the capacities need to be created. Second, the organizational infrastructure that is required at the state level, that is also missing. The mandi system that was created for the domestic marketing support to the farmers. Thirdly, we have by orientation at the academic institutions, most of us studied agriculture at the graduation level. We know that our course curriculum was 100% maximized production oriented. Any subject you take out of 42 subjects that we studied, all were related to production. Now the need is to focus on post-production side, where the value addition, marketing, post-harvest management, exports, all these things come into picture. So there is not a single subject at the graduation level where marketing or post-harvest management or trade and exports is taught, which is very, very critical for creating a produce. Those who come out after graduation, they play a role next 35, 40 years, whichever role they are. So their orientation is very, very critical. And lastly, the long-term policies of the government of India, that is very much required. I think I'll come back in the second round. So thank you very much, Kaundinya sir.
I want to ask you that what is the thinking of government on getting some of these products into usage in the country where the pesticide residues will not be a problem? I mean, is there any special effort that you have been involved in discussions on that front?
I think no crisis has happened in the recent days, so unlikely there will be any serious efforts. So government work, we have seen.
Yeah, if there is a crisis, there will be a solution.
Response to crisis. Looking at the possibilities of India gaining its rightful place in the exports market, I believe commodity-focused approach is required. That's what we can learn from the other countries. If we see the worldwide, the exports have been given a big boost by the commodity boards, whether it is California apple or Washington apple or California walnut, or is the US Dairy Association or Australia Wheat Board or Poland Poultry Board or Canola Association of Canada, by whichever names, essentially they are all commodity boards. They look at global market access, whatever in terms of trade and policies required. They also look at improving the quality of the production, supply chain and everything. See, quality of produce has got to be there. Drum beating alone will not help. So states have to play a much bigger role, and that is where the concept of two silver bullets. One, through precision agriculture, the quality has to be significantly improved. Second, through commodity boards, this institution can take care of in entirety everything related to that commodity, from production till the global market access and acceptance. So I believe this dual study, therefore, quality focus and consumer focus. So states have to play a much bigger role, and therefore whether states themselves play full role or the exporters or both together in terms of improving the quality, and similarly in terms of making brand India present worldwide. So state export baskets have to be prepared where the products which are immediately exported currently and which have potential to be exported in the future. Because many products which are minor today can become major tomorrow with a focused approach. Thirdly, very important is that 90% plus India is exporting the raw farm. So there is little value addition. So if there is no value addition, there is no value creation, then there is no gain to any of the stakeholders involved in that. Very, very marginally, in fact, just firefighting all the time. So if value-added products are exported, there is an increased value, and that can be, shared among the key stakeholders, including farmers and exporters.
One of the largest agricultural produce exporters in the world is a small country called Netherlands, right? You don't have to be having 170 million hectares of cultivation to be a leader in the global markets. You can produce high value-added products and export them if you are highly focused on that. And that's what Netherlands has actually proved. I think we need to look at that aspect quite seriously. Thank you for that.